What are the chances that the Steelers go out and get Jalen Ramsey? Should they sign a guy like James Bradberry in free agency instead, or should they just go and re-sign Cam Sutton, whose contract voided today? And then also there's been some Kenny Pickett slander in the media. I'm going to be breaking that down all on today's show. Let's get right into it. If you haven't already, Steeler Nation, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We try to provide you guys comprehensive Steelers news and rumors content here all offseason long. Every time the Steelers make a change, because you know those changes are coming, every time there's a cut, every time there's a signing, NFL draft coverage, we're going to have it all for you here on the channel. And of course, we have live shows every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. All right, so let's get into our first topic today, which is that Jalen Ramsey. Apparently, the Steelers are in the mix. That is a quote from Sports Illustrated that the Steelers might be interested in getting a guy like Jalen Ramsey. This is what Noah Strackbein from Sports Illustrated had to say. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been suggested to sign 2 veteran cornerbacks this offseason, but with speculations about Jalen Ramsey's future with the Los Angeles Rams, the All-Pro has quickly moved to the top of want lists among Pittsburgh fans. Then it goes on to say, everyone is asking whether the Steelers have a real shot at Ramsey this offseason, whether it's a trade or a signing if he's released. Even some publications have listed Pittsburgh as a potential landing spot for the star cornerback. So you take a look at Jalen Ramsey, really, really good player still. Some people said because the Rams defense wasn't as good this year, because the Rams weren't as good this year, that Jalen Ramsey's not as good anymore. But that's not true at all. An 86.4 grade according to PFF. Third best in the National Football League. So he's still one of the most dangerous defensive weapons in the National Football League, in my opinion. And right now, if the Steelers were to trade for him, they would owe him $17 million in base salary. They're not on the hook for the restructure that he signed. They're not on the hook for the signing bonus. When he signed the contract, it would be $17 million. So for a superstar cornerback like Jalen, that's actually not terrible. But if the Steelers want to make that kind of trade, this is what will need to happen. First, they got to let Cam Sutton walk. You can't sign Cam Sutton to like a $10+ million deal and then go out and get another cornerback for $17 million next season. You're just not going to be able to make the money work. So if you're going to go get a guy like Ramsey, you have to let Sutton walk. And then also you probably have to trade Alex Highsmith, because at the end of the day, guys, in 2024, you're going to be paying TJ a lot of money. You're going to be paying Minka a lot of money. You're going to be paying Cam a lot of money. And you don't want to be paying both Jalen Ramsey and Alex Highsmith big money as well. You probably have to pick between one or the two. You can't pick both. You have to either pick Ramsey or Highsmith. So this is what the trade idea that I would think would be a realistic trade opportunity to go get Jalen Ramsey. Okay, you trade Alex Highsmith, which is a very good player, and that 32nd overall pick that the Steelers got from the Bears at the trade deadline for Jalen Ramsey. I think the Rams are a team that are looking for younger talent. Alex Highsmith is a younger talent, and of course they would get that 32nd overall pick, which is like a pseudo first-round pick there, because usually the 32nd pick is a first-round pick. So I think that this is something that the Rams would definitely consider if the Steelers ended up offering this. But let me know in the comments section right now, is this a trade that you would consider making to bring in one of the best cornerbacks in the National Football League? Type yes or no in the comments section. This is the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break, go into the comments section, find that pinned comment. It'll be right there at the top, and answer today's question. So the second thing today, James Bradberry, one of the top free agent cornerbacks. Of course, he's in the news a lot lately because of that infamous holding call in the Super Bowl, and he's been rumored to the Steelers. So let's take a look at his profile here. Pretty darn good season this past year, right? Not so great in New York a couple seasons ago, but then he completely reinvented himself in Philly this year, the 27th highest graded cornerback according to Pro Football Focus, and he's one of the best zone corners in the National Football League. He really is good. He has great instincts. He's got good speed. You know, he's got good ball skills as well, but he's not as good of a man corner, in my opinion. The expected market value for him coming up here is going to be 3 years, $15.1 million per season, which of course is not cheap. And I think that, you know, you take a look at a guy like James Bradberry, I really think that he's somebody that the Steelers can look to as somebody that, is he going to fit the defense, right? Mike Tomlin, does he fit his vision? It's, you know, you look at Terrell Austin, what Mike Tomlin wanted to do last year, it was more man coverage. It was more man coverage than Tomlin usually does. Usually a Tomlin defense has a lot of man match zone principles, lots of cover 3, lots of cover 7, those sorts of things. And right now, Bradberry, you look at what he did with the Eagles, it was a lot of cover 4, a lot of cover 6. And, the Steelers run a lot of that too. But I worry about if they're trying to get to a more man-centric system with lots more cover 2 man, with a lot more cover 1. I just don't think Bradberry fits that system. So, if the Steelers want to go back to that man-match zone, cover 4, cover 6, cover 7 type of defense, then I'm all for potentially going and getting a guy like Bradberry who's really good at that stuff. But if they're starting to shift towards more man coverage, I just don't think it's a good fit. He's not a real good man corner, which was evidenced, by the way, by his hold in the Super Bowl. All right, so coming up here, I am going to be breaking down the Cam Sutton contract situation. His contract voided today, so we'll be talking about what that means, what it means for his future as a Pittsburgh Steeler. But before we get into that, let's have a word from our sponsor at Fanatics, and they have a great selection of terrible towels. If you don't have a terrible towel yet, guys, you're not a true Pittsburgh Steeler fan. It is a required piece of apparel if you are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I got one from Fanatics when I started working here at Chat Sports, and I think that it's fantastic. I got quick delivery. I got a great price for it. It's about $12 for a regular one, or you can get one of their specialty ones. They have a Spanish one on there. They got a camo one on there. I think they have one for Mother's Day, Father's Day. They got a bunch of different designs that are really, really cool on there. Maybe cost you a little bit more, but it's still very good prices, guys. Very, very good selection, fair prices, great delivery times. This is, if you're looking to get a terrible towel, and if you don't have one yet, you really should be looking into it. Go to chatsports.com/terrible towel right now and get your terrible towel today. So now let's talk about Cam Sutton and his contract voiding today. So what does that mean exactly? So going into next year, it essentially means he's going to be an unrestricted free agent going into 2023. Cam Sutton, someone that played very, very well last year, best year of his career in my opinion, 28th highest graded cornerback in the league according to Pro Football Focus. But what the void means essentially, when you break it down and you simplify it, is that the team takes on $2.1 million in dead cap now for the 2023 season, even if they re-sign him now. So he's going to be a free agent come March 15th. The team can still re-sign him before that date. I want to make that clear. But no matter what, the Steelers do take on that $2.1 million in dead cap for the 2023 season, which isn't great. I kind of wanted the Steelers to get a deal done before this point so you don't have to deal with that extra $2.1 million in dead cap. And the big question going in for the Steelers when it comes to Cam Sutton is, do you bring him back? Right, he's a really good corner, but is he going to be that true lockdown cornerback one that you have been looking for? Someone that's going to be worth the kind of money that he's going to make this offseason. Right now, PFF has him as the third highest or the third best cornerback free agent on the market right now. I think he's only behind Jamel Dean and James Bradberry, which are two options that the Steelers could definitely be looking at as well. But the big question is Cam Sutton, someone that can play inside, he can play outside, he plays at a high level. It seems like the Steelers and Cam both want to make a reunion happen here, bring him back for another season, and then of course you can draft somebody early in the draft that you think is going to be a real special corner moving forward. But there are other options if you are the Steelers. Like we talked about, you can trade for a guy like Jalen Ramsey. You'd have to give up a little bit for him, but he is definitely a superstar type talent, and I think he's much, much better than Cam Sutton. That's just my opinion. I really like Cam, by the way, but Jalen Ramsey's a whole nother animal there. And then you got Jamel Dean, really good corner, fits really well with what the Steelers want to do. He's also going to be expensive, but he is the top free agent cornerback in this year's free agency class, in my opinion. He's going to make a lot of money. And then, of course, we talked about James Bradberry as well, somebody that if the Steelers are looking to go back to that man-match zone type of defense that they were playing towards the end of the 2022 season, I think he'd be a good fit. But let me know in the comment section right now. Pick a cornerback to sign in free agency this offseason, or someone to get this offseason. You have to trade for Ramsey. Type JR if you want them to trade for Ramsey. Type JB if you want them to sign James Bradberry. Type JD if you want them to sign Jamel Dean. Or type CS if you want the Steelers to bring back Cam Sutton. So before I say goodbye today, guys, I'm going to talk about some media slander that has been going on in the media from a couple different outlets here, because I think Kenny Pickett is somebody that deserves a fair shot to be the franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He played well towards the end of the year, and CBS Sports had Brock Purdy, the San Francisco 49ers quarterback, taken ahead of him in a mock draft here, in a redraft. And the question is for me, like, the AFC is going to be very, very competitive moving forward, sure, but I think that Kenny Pickett is the type of guy that goes above a guy like Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is somebody that's smaller, somebody that definitely benefited from the system of San Francisco. I actually think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback, but I also think Kenny is a really good quarterback as well. Kenny showed some good things in the fourth quarter this past year. I think that he has the mental wherewithal to be a really good quarterback in the clutch in this league. I think he's going to do some great things in a Pittsburgh Steeler uniform. And then the big one came from Jason Smith in Detroit. He's a radio host there for Fox Sports Radio. This is what he tweeted out. Best fit for Derek Carr, Steelers. What? Can't go into next season with Kenny Pickett. Again, what? Carr is accurate, and Steelers have two good running backs and good playmakers at wide receiver / tight end. Most importantly, he'll thrive in a Mike Tomlin environment. So here's what I have to say to you, Jason. You're absolutely nuts, man, if you think that the Steelers are going to move off of Kenny Pickett for Derek Carr. Okay, Derek Carr is somebody that doesn't play well in the cold. How is he going to fare in the AFC North? Right, last you talk about how he's accurate. Is Kenny Pickett not accurate? He showed some really good stuff towards the end of the year. He had some really excellent throws, especially in the fourth quarter. Kenny Pickett has a much lower cap hit than Derek Carr. You have to pay a lot more money for relatively the same amount of production. So I don't know where Jason is coming from here when he's saying that Derek Carr should go to the Steelers and that the Steelers should just completely give up on Kenny Pickett, who actually showed some good things last year. I mean, when I saw this, I literally couldn't believe it. I thought he was joking, but he was absolutely serious. So Jason, if you're listening to this, man, you're absolutely nuts. You don't know about Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is going to be a good player in this league, I think, for a long time. But he does have some growth that still needs to be happening. But he's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback next year. So go ahead in the comment section right now for me and type F Jason in all caps for his slander against Kenny Pickett. What he said was absolutely unforgivable. We're going to punish him in the comment section. Type F Jason as many times as you want, as many times as you think is appropriate. And before we say goodbye here today, here's your reminder to go subscribe to the channel. And here are some of the reasons why. We have Steelers videos every single day breaking down the latest offseason rumors and news for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have weekly live shows on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Yesterday's show was absolutely epic for all those that showed up. Thank you so much. And then as those people know, we're the most interactive Steelers YouTube channel here on YouTube. We have weekly mailbags, I should say, and we try to keep you guys involved as much as possible. And then, of course, Chat Sports is a business, so more subscribers equals more videos here on the channel. And finally, it's 100% free to click that subscribe button. It costs you nothing, and you get your Steelers news and rumors all off season long. All right, Yinzers, that will do it for me today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.